is part of a widening investigation into a murky job racket scandal that dates to his tenure as the transport minister under the previous AIADMK regime from 2011 to 2016. Now, this scandal has cast a dark shadow over his political career and threatens to tarnish the image of the DMK-led Stalin administration. Needless to say, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin wasted no time in condemning the central agency's actions. He claimed that the raids targeting a minister's chamber in Tamil Nadu State Secretariat were an unprecedented move, raising questions about the motives behind this high-profile arrest. It is also worth noting that a video released today by the state BJP chief Annamalai reveals that even Stalin himself had previously spoken about Senthil's alleged corruption during his tenure as the transport minister under the AIADMK government. Adding further drama to the unfolding story, Chief Minister Stalin personally visited Senthil Balaji at a government hospital in Chennai after the minister complained of chest discomfort following his arrest. The hospital has since announced that Balaji underwent a coronary angiogram and has been advised to undergo bypass surgery at the earliest. Later, the Enforcement Directorate also set up a team of top doctors to assess Balaji's condition. However, this development has raised eyebrows as it seemingly refutes the initial diagnosis and creates speculation regarding the true state of minister's health. Now, what made Balaji's position weaker in this particular case was the accused declaring a compromise with the victims, which has been interpreted as an indirect admission of guilt, providing further substance to the corruption and bribery allegations against Balaji. And even as the opposition parties unite in accusing the union government of harassment and intimidation using central agencies, the opposition BJP is seizing this opportunity to reinforce their claims about Senthil Balaji's alleged role in filing the DMK First Family's coffers through Tamil Nadu State Marketing Corporation or TASMAC. Now, this arrest not only shakes the foundations of Tamil Nadu's political landscape, but has also raised the larger question about the integrity of public officials and also the use of central agencies for investigations. The unfolding drama surrounding Senthil Balaji's arrest will undoubtedly have far-reaching implications and may reshape the political narrative in the state. As the story continues to unfold, this high-stakes saga never ceases to be a riveting tale of power, corruption, and the pursuit of justice.
DMK came back to power, Senthil Balaji, along with the victims of this case, which means who gave the complainant initially, they all joined together. They filed a compromise petition saying that he took money from us, he returned back the money in 2019. First time in India, a minister took money, minister returned back.
இந்த ஹோட்டல் மார்க்கெட்லாம் திராவிட முன்னேற்றம் அஞ்சாவது நாங்கள் மிஸ்ஸாகவே பார்த்தவங்க நாங்கள் ஃபேஸ் பண்ணுவோம் சட்டப்படி நாங்கள்
बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट डराने की कोशिश कर रही है और सप्रेस करने की कोशिश कर रही है।
जो इस सरकार के विरोधी है, बीजेपी के विरोधी है, उनके ऊपर इस प्रकार की कार्रवाई करना अब नई बात नहीं है।
Data which has come in newspapers as well as on channels that 95% people who have ED and CBI cases are from the opposition. So I'm not surprised at all.
अब ये सेंथिल साहब पहले AIADMK में थे, फिर DMK में आए। AIADMK में जब तक थे, किसी न किसी प्रकार का सहयोग चल रहा था, कोई दिक्कत नहीं थी। अभी सारी दिक्कतें सामने आ गई।
When the state government is different, in other words, there's another party ruling in the state and BJP is in the center, then it becomes a double-barrel sarkar.
Now, before I open the story up for debate this evening, let's first give you an overview of this case about Senthil and the charges that he is being alleged for. Now, in 2014, he served as the Transport Minister under the AIADMK tenure. So that's when these allegations date back to. Now, the aides took cash from job aspirants. That's the allegation that came to light in 2014. How did that happen? The cash for jobs was in the transport corruption also, and what had happened that as he served as the transport minister, these stories began to come to light. Now, 2014 itself, recruitments, delays and elections were cited as the reason for not really providing the job for which money really was taken. Another allegation, 2016, the aspirants sought return of their money because it was 2 years since they were waiting for the jobs. They had already given the cash for the job, the seat that was promised to them. However, nothing really was done. There was no movement in that regard. Now, in 2016 itself, the distraught aspirants filed a litigation. That's where it all began, and trouble started mounting for Senthil Balaji. 2018, 4 complaints against DMK's Balaji and aides were registered with the police. That had happened in 2018. There was also an FIR for the criminal breach of trust and also intimidation and cheating. These were the charges that were filed against Senthil Balaji. Now, later in 2021, the aspirants approached the High Court. In fact, what had happened was that Senthil Balaji and his team went on to approach the High Court to quash the FIRs. This was after the FIRs were launched against him. And that's when, in the fag end of 2021, is when the ED stepped in. The Enforcement Directorate registered 4 cases and named Balaji as an accused. So this was where it all started with the Enforcement Directorate. Then comes 2022, where there was a High Court that was moved against the summons by the ED. And this went into the favor of Senthil Balaji as he was granted that quashing of the ED summons. 2022, High Court quashed and stayed the FIRs, quashed the summons as well. So there was some sort of victory for Senthil Balaji. But later, in 2022 itself, the Enforcement Directorate moved Supreme Court, challenging the Madras High Court order. Now, what did the Supreme Court do? May 2023, the Supreme Court refused to discharge the minister in the cash for job scam. So right now, what is happening is that this is the case that is being monitored by the Supreme Court. It has been given a go-ahead by the Supreme Court, and that's why the ED is proceeding with the charges. Let me now bring in my guests on the broadcast. Khushbu Sundar is an actor and leader of the BJP, is joining us. Also joining us is TKS Elangovan of the DMK. With us also on the broadcast is senior journalist S. Murari, and also with us is Kasturi Shankar. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being a part of this discussion. Now, Khushbu, I'll begin with you. The fact that this entire drama is being played out, of course, there was an overnight arrest in the wee hours that had happened, and later Senthil Balaji was taken to the hospital because he complained of chest pain. The accusation that the BJP is facing, and also right now the entire misuse of central agencies dialogue is once again back with the opposition really united. How does the BJP choose to respond to that?
There's nothing to respond because they do not understand these orders were given. The allegations against Mr. Senthil Balaji started long ago before he joined DMK, and after he joined DMK, there were many allegations against him. Even when the electricity was a problem in DMK, the allegations were against Mr. Senthil Balaji. And this is an action ED enforcement action is taken at the nod of the Supreme Court. So I do not understand. ED in fact was actually brought down by the SC asking that why the earlier earlier corruption charges were not looked into it properly, and why is that there was so much of lethargy and a lapse in the allegations against him in the investigations. So this has come directly from the Supreme Court, and it has nothing to do with the party at all.
Okay, Mr. Elangovan, the fact that DKS, I beg your pardon, the DMK is going about calling this entire arrest as unlawful. Why unlawful is my big question, because it's a Supreme Court directed probe where the ED is progressing. Why unlawful?
The charges were made in the year 2014. That is what you say. But for which they are going into the secretariat today. When Senthil Balaji was a minister in the Jayalalitha government, you are going to the secretariat today and searching his office means, what is the logic behind it? See, the procedures had started way back in 2014 and the High Court had made a settlement. After that, they had the ED had appealed
But that
to the
was
Supreme Court
squashed by the
and they got
Supreme
orders.
Court.
But
Yeah.
what is the necessity for going? What is the necessity for going to the Secretariat today and searching his office when the matter was closed way back in 2004? It started in 2014. What you do is, what we see is, you are only
I'll come to you, Khushbu.
concentrating on people of the opposition party states. Then you are what happened to the fighters, the boxers, women? Why you are not taking any action on that MP?
No, let's stick
You
to
target only
the current
opposition
case at
party
hand,
leaders.
Mr. Elangovan. Mr. Elangovan, I'd like to understand
Yeah,
this
yeah,
one
I
thing.
understand, I understand.
We're talking about the 2014 case. Let's talk about what has been the DMK stand. In
Yes.
turn, the current Chief Minister, MK Stallin's stand. We were just presented that video evidence by the BJP state chief, Annamalai, where he had accused
the approach
MK...
of the ED.
Yeah, no, I just want to understand that. MK
I'll tell
Stalin
you.
himself had accused Senthil Balaji of corruption back then when AIADMK was in power. So why the change of stance now? Just because he's an important minister in the cabinet doesn't
That is
take
not
away
the
from the
change of
fact
stance.
that he is not
what
laced with
made
corruption cases.
No. My charge is that why the ED should go to his office today when the occurrence had happened way back 10 years back. Why
May I
are
come
they
in?
going today and
Okay,
investigating his
I'd let
office?
Khushbu Sundar
I don't know
respond.
why.
Yes,
What is the
all right.
reason?
Khushbu, please go ahead.
Elangovan sir, with all due respect to you, the charges were there in 2014. So as a transport minister, if the allegations are against him as a transport minister, let them do their job. What difference it makes? Today, if he has moved the party and is moved into DMK and is one of your cabinet ministers, how does the laws and how does the accusation change overnight? That cannot change. He was accused of taking bribe. He was accused of taking money. The ED enforcement has done the probe earlier. Then the Supreme Court has knocked them on their head and said that you cannot do it. The probe was not done properly. You have to do it again. And they are here. Even if it's a 2014 charges, I think you should take it head on. If you're not guilty, if you're not scared that your minister has done mistake, I think you should take it head on and say it is 2014 case. He was the minister then in AIADMK. Let the law takes its course. Why is that everybody is jumping into defense? And I do not understand in what way Balaji's corruption charges has to do with the restless sitting in Delhi.
My question is, with what material did the ED went to Supreme Court?
Sir, they have the
They had
material.
the
That's why they're
material
going.
already. If they
Sir,
had
they
the
have the
material, why
material.
should
They
they
will not
go
tell
to
you
the
the material,
Secretariat
sir.
and search today?
Sir,
They want to
how will
insult the
the
state
ED give
government.
you the material
Okay,
and go?
Mr. Elangovan, is that your only worry at the
See,
moment? Why has the arrest happened from the state secretariat? Let me actually bring in Khushbu Sundar at the moment. Khushbu, there was a very, very peculiar stance that the AIADMK really put forth today. There was a press conference by ADPK Palaniswamy. He is trying to absolve AIADMK from the situation where Senthil Balaji has landed himself into. But the entire fact is that he was the transport minister under the AIADMK regime. So what does one make of the statement by EPS?
Nothing at all. He moved on with Mr. Dinakaran and then he came back to DMK. What I am saying is EPS is at least taking a stance and saying that he was minister under AIADMK. Now let them take its own course. The accusations are there. He's not part of AIADMK anymore. So they're ready. If there is any kind of misdeed done as a minister under AIADMK regime, then they're ready to take it head on. Why is it that DMK is running away from this entire fiasco and say that we have nothing to do with it, but this is a part of vengeance? I mean, what is there? ED works independently. Why is it that they want to push it on BJP? They have nothing to argue. Why are they pushing it on BJP? Why are they just putting it on the heads?
But I still want to understand what has been the AIADMK stand. How does one read it? Kasturi Shankar, I'd want your opinion on this. What do you make of the statement that's been coming from the AIADMK, especially when it was a minister under their regime, when the corruption really hit the party? Kasturi, I think you need to unmute yourself, Kasturi.
Yeah, there we go. This is a very paradoxical situation I'm seeing in Tamil Nadu today, something we don't see very often, wherein a minister accused of graft under the previous regime is being washed off. The AIADMK is almost virtually washing their hands off him. They're saying, we have nothing to do with him, and therefore we have insinuation we have nothing to do with that corruption anymore. They are kind of trying to distance themselves from Mr. Senthil Balaji as well as his corruption charges. And at the same time, the DMK, which really has nothing to do, and Mr. Ilangovan is here, somebody I respect very much. Hello, sir. It's very surprising that the DMK has really nothing to do with this particular action by the ED, because this doesn't relate to their regime at all. They can actually come out and say that, but for some reason they're not saying that. They feel responsible for Mr. Senthil Balaji, and they have gone.
But Kasturi, why should they not? We're talking about their minister at the moment. He is a minister under the DMK administration now.
They seem to be responsible for him. So I kind of feel that the DMK government right now and the leaders that seem to need Mr. Senthil Balaji. It almost feels like, I'm just saying this, it almost feels like they don't want him in a place where he can be interrogated, in a place where he can spill the beans about the corruption from 2014 or from 2023, who knows? Okay. Because that is the whole scandal going on in Tamil Nadu right now, is about the TASMAC scandal, about the 23 people who died of illicit liquor, and then all the details that came out, including the 10 rupee per bottle scandal. Yes. So there is a lot of stuff that perhaps DMK doesn't want Mr. Senthil Balaji in any kind of custody.
Okay.
That is
I will ask the TASMAC bit to Mr. Ellen Govan in just a bit. Thank you so much for raising that point, Kasturi. But let me bring in Mr. S. Murari. He's been patiently listening to all your opinions. Mr. Murari, you have a vantage over here. You have seen where do the political parties who are the top players in Tamil Nadu, where do they actually stand on this issue? Who has diverted from the stance from where it was in 2016, 2014. How do you see the standoff, especially AIADMK, under which regime this corruption is being talked about, considering EPS has very, very gleefully come out in the open and distanced AIADMK from this entire situation, this entire fiasco, as if AIADMK has nothing to do with the cash for jobs scam?
You're all missed a major point. Corruption, yes. Investigation is AD the agency. AD is concerned only with the money laundering aspect of corruption, ill-gotten money.
Yes.
Corruption comes under the Prevention of Corruption Act. He is a public figure, MLA or MP or minister. He could have been prosecuted by the central agency or even by the state agency for that matter, the EAC. They have not done that. ED is the arm of the central government being blatantly misused. It's not the first time. Endless interrogation by whether it's by, in this case, or Sisodia, or Rahul Gandhi, and the Shivakumar, whoever is the opposition. Can you show one instance of ED moving against any of the ruling party in the last since 2014? 40% corruption was what they said about Karnataka ministers. How many ministers were interrogated by the ED? This is political vendetta. That is the only aspect I'm talking about. Okay. As far as the ED is concerned, money laundering is concerned, it's a financial crime. If any ill-gotten money is there, they can seize the assets. Even Binami properties they can ask. What has happened in this case was he went for a morning walk and he came back and the ED was already at his doors and he told the reporters it's not fair to make them wait. Go there or fully cooperate with them. Last time also when they raided, gave a panchnama, whatever they had recorded. This time also I hope they will do that. I am fully to cooperate. I have nothing to hide. That's the attitude of this event in. After 17 hours, at 1:30 in the morning, they say he is arrested. Under what section? There should be transparency. Any human right, any violation, transparency. I am reminded of what happened to David's son, Sam Swami. 82-year man, dubbed as an urban Naxal and then connected with the case in Goregaon and Pune. He was not even allowed to give straw to drink his water, and he was not even given bail, and he died in jail. It's a shame. This is not at the same scale because political parties, others, D. Shivakumar also gone to jail on the
Okay,
same
let
thing.
me bring
you cannot
in
use a political
Khushbu
agency
Sundar
for
back.
political purposes.
Khushbu,
That is
Khushbu,
the
this
only
is the
aspect.
allegation by not just the opposition. One of the journalists on the panel is also claiming that tactics to silence the opposition. If I go by the data till September 2022, 90% of the opposition leaders have been targeted and implicated by the Enforcement Directorate, none whatsoever when it comes to BJP leaders. That is the allegation that comes every now and then whenever there is an ED action now on opposition.
It's very simple when you look at it. Before 2014, all we have seen is corruption. And all the charges, what you see the leaders have been facing today, if they happen to be in opposition, it's their wrongdoing. People have voted BJP to power, not once, but twice. And ED has nothing to do with the central government. It's an independent body. So we are talking about corruption. We are talking about corruption-free country. What the first major thing what Prime Minister Modi did was corruption-free country. And this is what we are working on. We have been raising questions that all these corruption charges were laid out and what action has been taken. So if these ministers are facing the brunt, if they're facing the music, it's because the corruption charges which were levied on them. Now the ED, because they know this government means business. You need to produce what you have started. You just can't go back and say that the charges were levied.
Why did the ED only step in
and let them go free hand, let them go scot-free? No.
Khushbu, why did the ED
and why
only step
no
in
BJP,
2021? Yes.
Why no BJP member is leveled with corruption charges? Because there is no corruption. Please let one opposition in 2000 before 2014.
S. Murari also talked about the 40% corruption in Karnataka. At the risk of digressing, 40% corruption in Karnataka. Here, so it cannot be a blanket statement, Khushbu, that BJP leaders do not have any corruption allegations, but we will digress from the. Okay.
Let the ED take the probe.
Let's talk about Senthil. Okay, let's talk about Senthil. This is a case that dates back to 2014. Why did the ED step into action only in 2021 as he switched sides from the AIADMK to DMK?
He switched side in 2018. So why would ED wait for 3 years?
So why 2021 is why?
When is the Supreme Court got on ED's head and said that you need to probe into it. So is the opposition trying to say?
But Khushbu, the ED had already started the probe, which was quashed by the Madras High Court. That is the timeline.
Madras High Court?
Yeah.
Right? Why is it 2021 they started? Why is it they're coming for ED raid money laundering case? Why are they coming now in 2023?
Yes.
Can you please tell me that does Supreme Court, is the opposition trying to insult the apex court and say that Supreme Court is controlled by the government of India? Are they insulting the Supreme Court? Are they insulting the biggest law system what we have in our country? What are they trying to prove?
Okay, Mr. Alan Govan, I'd like your word here. This is the response that has come in from the BJP. As far as the claim of misuse of central agencies, this is what their stand is. You are saying it shouldn't have been done in a haste, and that too from the State Secretariat. Journalist S. Murari is also mentioning something similar. Do we know about the charges under which the CD arrest has happened, and now a 14-day custody also?
This question is to me?
No, what my question is, if they had gone to Supreme Court,
yes.
When the ED went to Supreme Court, they might have produced some materials. What I say is, going to the Secretariat today and investigating a case where he may not be even be using that room at that time in 2014 or 16. So they are trying to do something against the DMK. There are many cases. 4 people were killed. Kalburgi and a reporter, senior journalist from Karnataka. 4 people were killed immediately when the BJP came to power. What happened to those cases? 12 people are suffering in the prison.
Money laundering. We are talking about ED, sir.
Bhimagora and
let him make his point.
No.
Please let him make his point.
You combining cases of wrestlers, what happened in Kalburgi case? Why are you mixing it up?
One second, let him make his point.
Yes.
Then you can respond.
They were killed. What is the government doing? Those who spoke against BJP were killed.
Sir, please,
why not action? No action.
Mr. Alan Govan, let's talk about the charges that you think Senthil Balaji has been slapped with by the ED, and that's why the 14-day judicial custody also has been granted. What do you think has happened in this particular case?
The ED had investigated. They might have gone to court saying that the High Court has erred only because of the material which they had. So when they have a material, let them proceed. Why should they go and investigate the State Secretariat to insult the present government? That is, their intention is to insult. the present government and make them before the public that this government is corrupt.
Khushbu, quickly on this. This is the first time. This is the first time there is a sitting minister. Khushbu, let me ask my question. Khushbu, let me ask my question. This is the first time that a sitting minister has been taken out of Fort St. George, the seat of power in Tamil Nadu. It has never before happened. It is unprecedented. That's what the chief minister of the state also mentioned today. Why do you think that urgency really was there to take him into custody from the state secretariat? If that's the argument that the DMK is making, let the BJP respond to it, please.
No, there's nothing BJP has to respond. The ED has to respond. These questions, what the DMK people are asking BJP, they should be asking ED. Why is that they're asking questions to BJP? What does BJP has to do with Senthil Balaji's arrest? It is not the central government, it is the Enforcement Directorate which has arrested Mr. Senthil Balaji. BJP has not arrested Senthil Balaji, and if whatever the questions the DMK has, including the Honorable Chief Minister, he should raise the question against ED. If they have all the proofs to prove that Mr. Senthil Balaji is not at fault, let them raise the questions to ED and not to BJP. Why is that BJP has been pulled in? In what way BJP is involved?
Okay.
Is BJP
Mr. Ellen Govind, what has been the DMK stance? Do you feel that Senthil Balaji has been implicated without any basis? No, Mr. Ellen Govind, I want to understand this. What has been the DMK stance?
Our charge is that the BJP government is misusing all the agencies under their control against the opposition parties in the country where in the opposition ruled states. That is where all these things are happening.
I'm sorry,
in Karnataka where there was a heavy charge of corruption.
Ilangovan sir, I have a lot of respect for you, sir. Please don't make such statements. Please don't make such statements.
Mr. Ellen Govind, all right. Mr. Ellen Govind, let me ask you one thing. When the case was before the Madras High Court, why was a plea being put to get in a compromise formula? That ended up weakening the case for Senthil Balaji, and of course, it was termed as an admission of guilt. Why was that done? If at all there was no truth to these corruption charges.
No, what? I am not going into the charges. My question is, when the ED has taken up and they had gone to Supreme Court without proper material, how will the Supreme Court have...
No, Mr. Ellen Govind, just answer this question first. Why was this compromise formula really floated into the Madras High Court?
All these materials, when they have all these materials, why should go to the state secretariat and investigate?
No, you are making the same point. We are going about in circles, Mr. Ellen Govind. I really want to understand what is the DMK stance on the corruption allegations, the money laundering allegation against Senthil Balaji. Your minister, we understand that he holds a lot of clout, especially on his home turf and in most portions of Tamil Nadu. But what is the DMK stance? It's important to understand where does MK Stalin and DMK really stand on the allegations against Senthil Balaji.
No. Senthil Balaji had clearly categorically stated that he will face it. He will face any charge of ED. So he is bold enough. The only thing is that the way the ED is approaching, acting, entering
Let's
into
also
the state
understand this
without
one
the
thing.
permission.
Got that
all
point,
these
sir.
things.
Got that point, sir. Let's come back to the point that Kasturi was making on the TASMAC issue. It has been raised by the BJP and the claims are being made that the DMK is very, very wary that the ED will go ahead and pursue cases against the DMK vis-a-vis TASMAC. Allegations by the BJP also happened in the name of the DMK state chief, Mr. Annamalai, where he said that what was gained out of TASMAC by charging extra on liquor bottles, all of that went into the coffers of the DMK first family. How do you respond to those charges, sir?
No, these are all charges he is making. He has given a list of properties which they were doing, they have gained from their own business and which was admitted in the election nomination during nominations, and he takes out. He did not mention that these properties had come out of corruption. He did not make such a statement. He is withdrawing from it. He has not proved anything. He only mentioned a list of charges, and whatever he speaks, we can't. In fact, we don't understand what he means.
Okay.
Sometimes he speaks
So we'll ask
something which is
Khushbu
irrelevant and
Khushbu,
illogical.
what did Annamalai mean when he said that because of the TASMAC case, there was a worry within the DMK, and he also made a big allegation that all the money that came from TASMAC is going into the DMK coffers? What did he mean by that?
No, I couldn't get you. I lost you in between.
I wanted to understand the allegations that Annamalai has made over TASMAC case, which also concerns the current Excise Minister Senthil Balaji. He has also said that the money that was coming in from the liquor sale was all going into the DMK coffers.
I'm sure with Mr. Annamalai speaking those lines, he will have the proofs because he doesn't speak without proofs. Until unless he doesn't have a solid proof, he will not go make those statements. So I'm sure that when we were talking about corruption charges against DMK, they denied it, and then we produced the audio of Mr. PTR, who accepted that 30,000 crores is what is being made by DMK in the last 2 years. So we talk with the proof in hand. We don't talk without a proof. They are not just allegations or accusations. We speak with proof in our hand.
Okay.
And
Mr. Murari, let me actually bring you in here because I am very short on time now. I want to understand this one aspect. This TASMAC case, do you think it is biting the DMK hard? Do you think the allegations that are coming in from the opposition in the state has a constructive argument?
Yes, absolutely. That is point in the argument that every bottle 10 rupees or more they are charging, and he is in charge of the Excise Ministry. There might have been corruption, there might have been decision going on. TASMAC has been the den of corruption, and it is a source of money for all the politicians and all others. That is a fact. And they had to scale down the number of shops, but it is a cash cow. More than 30,000 crores they are getting as a
revenue. So do you think this will be a bigger worry for the DMK? With Senthil Balaji's arrest,
they may have got benefit from that.
Mr. Murari, with Senthil Balaji's arrest, do you think this is going to be a huge worry for the DMK because of this?
No, I don't think that you can connect the dot. Annamalai has made a vague statement as a concrete proof that's been made to Sabarisan or whoever it is, first family. That connection is very difficult to prove.
Okay.
But I am talking
Kasturi, your last word on this. Do you think these two things can be connected? Considering there is one case of money. Yeah, Mr. Murari, I'll come back to you. Yes, Kasturi, please.
1 second.
Yes, I think at least the central government, at least the investigative agencies will definitely try to, if not make the connect, at least corroborate evidence against the first family of Tamil Nadu and against the corruption allegations that have gained a lot of momentum in the state against several ministers, primary of the lot being Mr. Senthil Balaji himself, not just in TASMAC, also in electricity, also in the 2014 case. So he is in a kind of a fix now, and I'm sure not just the ED, but every kind of investigation will be carried out in order to unearth as much detail as possible. This the ruling party will do. As Mr. Murari said, yes, the ruling party, this is not a one-way street. Whenever ruling party is there, the opposition has to face the heat. Mr. Yediyurappa, as soon as he lost power in Karnataka, he was also put in jail for the land scam in Karnataka.
Okay. Let me get in Mr. Ellen Govan for the last word.
Let me also remind that Mayawati ji, Yediyurappa, Lalu Prasad Yadav, whoever is in the opposition has to face the heat from the ruling party.
Okay.
In that case, it
All
was
right.
the
Kasturi, I'm really sorry. We have very little time now left. I want to give the last word to Mr. Ellen Govan. Mr. Ellen Govan, there was a controversy not very long back between the BJP and the AIADMK concerning J. Lalita. Do you think that alliance was in trouble, and this particular episode with Senthil Balaji is sort of helping them get back? Because obviously there was a clear rift that was laid wide open because of the claims that Annamalai had made over corruption charges during J. Lalita's regime.
Yeah. See, Jayalalitha had openly stated that they will not have any truck with the ADMK at one point of time during the 2014 elections. And she stood by that. But now, since the present ADMK leaders are at the mercy of the BJP, they will do anything, and Annamalai was also severely criticized by the ADMK, some of the ADMK leaders for his comments. See, Annamalai makes certain statements just to attack people or just to put pressure on the opposition parties.
All right. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us on the broadcast. I'm really sorry, I am very short of time now, so I'd have to wrap this debate up. Like I said, it is a developing story, an interesting one that's coming out of the state central secretariat in Tamil Nadu, and it is going to actually go ahead and have severe ripple effects in the political circles in the state. Now, with that, I'm slipping into a very short break, but up next, political violence has escalated in the state of West Bengal ahead of the Panchayat elections on July 8th, and the debate about that is coming in after a quick break.
But sir, the BJP has claimed that because Senthil Balaji is a minister, he should cooperate with the investigation and not create such drama while he is being interrogated, and he should cooperate.
He is cooperating. He has been cooperating so long. The court has granted anticipatory bail in the main case. Now the ED suddenly comes in and says, oh no, we have got evidence. We got that evidence only in the secretariat. The offense happened, the occurrence took place in 2000, the alleged occurrence took place in 2011 to 2015. For that, Mr. Senthil Balaji will be having the evidence in the secretariat. The office which he assumed in 2021. What joke is the ED officers trying to play? So they are deliberately trying to provoke. They think that they can bring a bad name to the DMK government. But it is the BJP which is losing out. The entire opposition in our country is united. They've condemned yesterday's search. And then a person, you imagine 17 hours, he's being held captive, and he is not allowed to any of his normal functions. You don't allow him to sleep, and suddenly, middle of the night at 3 o'clock, you are arresting him. 3 o'clock.
All right.
Without any this thing, they are arresting. What kind of investigating agency they are?
All right. Mr. Saravanan, please stay with us. We also have BJP's Narayanan Tirupati joining us. Sir, a very good morning to you. So we have DMK's A. Saravanan with us, who claims that this arrest of Senthil Balaji is illegal, and in fact he has also claimed that this is a vendetta against DMK by the centre. Your reaction on this?
No law prevents the law enforcing agencies to arrest anyone at the 3 o'clock in the morning. First of all, Mr. Saravanan is also an advocate by profession. I think he knows that. Number two, what is he accused of? He has been accused of cheating common men, assuring them of jobs in his ministry when he was a minister in transport ministry. He was the minister. And this accusation was very clearly exposed by Mr. Stalin, the then opposition leader and the present chief minister. They have even met the governor and accused Mr. Senthil Balaji of doing huge corruptions when he was in so many ministries. It was not the BJP who had accused. It is the DMK which has accused the same Senthil Balaji and given him the ministry. Mr. Saravanan is asking whether he can hide documents pertaining to 2011-15. Why not? Why can't he hide? He can do that. The law enforcing agency has got each and every right to interrogate, and it is the duty and the responsibility of a minister to cooperate with the law enforcing agency. The chief minister is to be highly condemned for not ordering Senthil Balaji's dismissal. He should have asked Mr. Senthil Balaji to cooperate with the Enforcement Directorate. That's it.
All right, Mr. Tirupati, please stay with us. Mr. Saravanan, how would you like to respond to Mr. Tirupati?
See, that's what authority, what moral authority does any of these BJP leaders or spokespersons have to comment upon anybody else? What have they done with Mr. Brijbhushan Singh? He is accused of sexually assaulting. What a heinous crime. And what was he doing? He was given a red carpet welcome in the parliament. And these people come here and preach about probity in public life. What a joke, what a pathetic joke is this. The question is, there are guidelines for arrest. You cannot arrest anybody in the midnight. Let them go educated about the Supreme Court judgments, which speak about when an arrest is required or when an arrest is not required. He is not Mehul Choksi or Nirav Modi to fly away after looting the country's money worth 5,000 crores. The BJP remained a mute spectator. They were all, close allies of whom? Does the BJP have any answer for that? So let the BJP not preach. They are the most corrupt party India had ever seen. They are the corrupt party giving asylum to everybody, rapists and all other people. All
right. Mr. Tirupati, your response on...
I can understand. Yeah, I can understand the tension and the emotion of, Mr. Saravanan, because Senthil Balaji is a milking cow for the DMK government now, though he was seen as a very big scamster and a very big corrupt person when they were in opposition. Now, it is very clear. It is very clear. It is very clear.
Why are you supporting him?
It is very clear. It was. See,
are you ashamed or not?
Have some decency,
are you ashamed or not to support Brijbhushan Singh?
You keep quiet. When you are speaking, I was keeping
All right, Mr. Saravanan, let's just stay with Senthil Balaji for now.
I can understand your tension. I can understand your tension. Your milking cow has been stopped. Your milking cow has been halted. And common man's problem. Who gave
whatever he has done to the wrestlers of this country?
Come on, don't get excited.
Don't hide. Don't hide. Don't hide.
Answer for this.
Hide behind the dirty politics of the BJP.
Stalin?
What is your answer to Brijbhushan Singh?
Not Mr. Stalin. I think the anchor has to control him, or I will get out.
Will the Prime Minister resign?
The anchor has to intervene and stop him.
Taking action against Brijbhushan Singh?
When he was talking, I was keeping quiet.
No, answer this. You answer
this. The problem is with the anchor. I think the anchor is there or not?
Are you not ashamed of Brijbhushan Singh? I'm asking.
If the anchor is not able to control, I don't think you have the right to conduct this show.
All right.
Of your MP?
The anchor, what all right?
Of your MP, Brijbhushan Singh?
All right, Mr. Tirupati and Mr. Saravanan, thank you for speaking to CNN News 18 and expressing your views. We're crossing over to our correspondent Purnima Murli, who is with us on this story. Purnima, walk us through the latest updates in this story.
Welcome back. You're watching Viewpoint with me, Griha. Now, violence continues to rock parts of West Bengal over the filing of nominations for July 8th Panchayat polls. This, even as the Calcutta High Court has directed the State Election Commission to deploy central paramilitary forces for the upcoming elections in the state. However, it stopped short of intervening in the State Election Commission's election schedule. All this despite previously expressing concerns over the 5-day period provided for filing nomination papers as being insufficient. Now, apart this, the court has also ordered the State Election Commission to install CCTV cameras at every booth and corner of the counting centres, further directing it that the counting of votes for all the 3 tiers of the Panchayat be conducted simultaneously and at the very same venue. Now, despite measures announced by the court, the violence over filing of nomination continues unabated, with bombs being hurled and several cars ransacked as supporters of rival parties try to stop each other from filing the nominations. The opposition, the BJP, the Congress, the CPIM are all accusing the TMC of using muscle power to stop candidates of opposition parties from filing the nominations. And that's not the only hiccup in the run-up to the rural elections. It also looks like Trinamool's delay in publishing the list of its candidates and factional feuds that are also triggering the clashes over sections of names have led to the defections from party across North Bengal, many of them deciding to join the BJP now.
আমরা এটা করে দেখাবো এবারের ভোট 13 আর 18 এর মতো গুন্ডা তৃণমূলকে লুটতে দেবে না বিজেপি
Let me open this up to my panel who joins me this evening. Priyanka Tibrewal of the BJP is with us, and also with us is Professor Morajit Mandal, who's a political analyst and leans towards the TMC. Professor Mandal, I'll begin with you. Since it is the TMC administration in West Bengal, why has this become a template before every elections in the state? Why the violence?
No, I think these particular visuals that you are presenting on the screen in southern part of 24 Parganas, where ISF and CPIM, they are creating the tensions. And the complaints coming from the local MLA that the TMCs are not being allowed to file their nominations, right? The TMC Shaukat Mullah has categorically stated that they are not being allowed to file their nominations. The visuals are disturbing, definitely. The police also have taken action. And we believe that the kind of statement that the opposition leaders is making, their president is making every other day, they will also see what to be done. I think these are stoking the flame.
But Balaji, you are saying it's ISF and...
Nonetheless, in most of the cases, the nominations are filed peacefully. The BJP, I repeat, till now, BJP, they have filed the maximum.
You know, Manojit, I fail to see peaceful.
Only in some
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'd want to understand.
Only 2 or 3 incidents have
No. But tell me something. You're talking about 24 Parganas. I'd like to understand. You were saying that it's ISF and CPIM. What our reports show is ISF and TMC, not the CPIM. So it is your word against the opposition's.
CPIM is part of the gang, ISF. They had the alliance in 2021. They fought together to elect this particular MLA who was in jail for 42 days for vandalism. It was shown on TV on the streets of Calcutta. He vandalized public properties. So he was a confirmed goon, everyone knows that. And he is in complete collusion with BJP also. I mean, he calls BJP Shubhendu Adhikari the most prominent leader of Bengal at this point in time. These things are caught on tape. Everyone knows this. So I think these violence is being created largely by the opposition. TMC at times are hindered by these people to file their nomination. That's why the maximum number of nominations only, less than 24 hours are filed by BJP. Please check the number. 2-3 pockets in 2-3 places of Bengal. There have been some incidents like the one that you are showing, and police have taken action. Police will support the election commission in nabbing all the culprits. TMC will not indulge in any kind of violence. Let me take this to my good friend. I do represent my party as a clear instruction of the party that no violence should be undertaken, indulged in by the TMC. Anyone is found to be violent will be expelled from the party. And some people are already leaving because they did not get the ticket. Right? It's because of that. That's the kind of strict action the party will take. The
Can you name a few, Monaji?
And everyone.
Can you name a few? Who all have been expelled from the party?
The people who are not getting the ticket, they are leaving. You are just shown in North Bengal because they were creating troubles. That's why they were not given the tickets. Only the good people will be given the tickets. And the people who are not good, people who don't deserve, they'll not be given tickets and they'll be going out to different party. And BJP is there to lap them up. Like they have the laptop Shubhendu Adhikari, Nitish Pramanik, who is
that true, Priyanka? There are defections within the TMC. There are defections within the TMC. TMC claims it is because they were goons who were creating ruckus. They threw them off from the TMC and they have now joined the BJP. Priyanka.
No, I would like to answer in this. I am really, I will tell you, looking at this helplessness of TMC, I am quite contented and happy that now they don't have candidates whom they should give tickets. He is saying that they are unable to file nomination, the reason being anti-incumbency in their party. The reason being that 2 people are trying to run the party. The clan which is with Mamata Banerjee, they have their own list of candidates. And the clan which is with Abhishek Banerjee, they have their own list of candidates. So they are not being able to decide candidates. That's the reason that people are quitting their party. And not just that, not only for tickets, it is that Abhishek Banerjee wants to run the show. And people who have worked all their life maybe to bring Trinamool to power, they are not ready. They're resenting. Because of this resentment, they are not being able to file nominations. Now that is on the side why they are not being able to give candidates. We are not worried about that. What is the concern here is the violence which is prevailing each and every day in West Bengal.
Yes.
Look, in democracy, it is a festivity to have elections and elect people to be people's representative. But see what kind of festivity is going on in West Bengal. You are seeing bombs, crude bombs being hurled. Now they are saying that ISF is responsible. Just tell me, ISF has a single MLA over here. Okay.
Yes.
And TMC is the government in power. They have the entire they have the entire law in their own hands. They have the entire police administration in their hands. Why are they not being able to control this violence? Police is running here and there, you can see in the video. But police is not being able to control the violence. Is ISF so powerful in front of the state government that with one single MLA, they are hurling bombs?
Yes.
Then who is supposed to answer in this regard?
Manojit, that's a
law
fair
and order
point.
is a state subject.
That's a fair point. It comes under Mamata Banerjee's regime. It is a state subject. Law and order has to be handled by the state chief minister and the ruling party in power. Why is Mamata Banerjee not able to do that?
There are nearly 70,000 booths in these elections. The problems have been reported only from 3 or 4 places in the last 3-4 days. Right, it happened in 24 Parganas. Few days back, it happened in Murshidabad. I can remember only these 2 incidents so far. 99% of the nominations have been filed peacefully. Everywhere it is the case. And these goons are confirmed goons. Everyone knows that that person, MLA, was arrested. And how long he can be put in jail? The ISF goon, he is a goon. He was a confirmed criminal. Who is Shaukat Mullah? So you ask your CBI, who is Shaukat Mullah? You are trying to arrest through CBI. Could you arrest him? And who is Shubhendu Adhikari? What kind of a goon he is? The confirmed goon in your party is Shubhendu Adhikari. How many criminal cases does he have?
He is creating all this ruckus in the district.
Who is Dilip Ghosh? Who is Shubhendu Adhikari?
Sir, you tell me, no, I am really enjoying your helplessness.
No, Monojit, help us understand this one aspect. All right. Priyanka, one second. Let him have his say. Let him have his say. Manojit, help us understand this one thing. If at all, you are claiming that there are just 4 or 5 places where the violence was reported out of. Why did the Calcutta High Court have to step in and order the central the probe agencies, in fact, the police, to be deployed, the central paramilitary to be deployed in that area? Why did the court have to intervene? Because of the situation on ground. Why did it happen?
Calcutta High Court did not interfere with the larger question of the opposition, that is to muzzle or delay the process of voting. Did they? The answer is no. The Calcutta High Court instructed the Election Commission to have a peaceful, fair election, even with the help of CRPF. That is the limited point of the judgment that the Calcutta High Court delivered. They did not enter into the dates or other issues, or even they challenged the position of the Election Commission, who was appointed 7 days back. Did the High Court interfere? The answer is no. And we welcome this verdict. Yes, let us have a peaceful election. If CRPF is needed, the Election Commission, I think, is better placed to understand and deploy CRPF. They will handle it.
Okay, but Priyanka, let me have you respond to this. All right, Manojit, got your point.
Have a peaceful, fair election.
All right. Now, since the Calcutta High Court, one second, Priyanka, since the Calcutta High Court did not fiddle with the dates, there was an accusation, in fact, there was a reservation by the court that this entire tenure that's been given for the nomination filing is very little. Something that the BJP also wanted it in the favor because they wanted more time. That has not been done by the court. It is up to the State Election Commission. They are sticking. They're sticking. But what Manojit claimed earlier is that in the last 24 hours, the number of nomination filing has happened from the BJP side and not the TMC. So who is creating the violence again becomes the big question. Yes, Manojit, let me ask you the question. Yes, please go ahead, Priyanka.
I'll answer one by one.
Yes.
See, it is not just that we were asking for extension of time. Along with that, there were many other things for which we were asking for, including this deployment of central forces, including recognition of the sensitive areas. We also said that their civic police cannot be used inside the booths and outside for election duty. So all these aspects have been dealt by the Calcutta High Court. But the difficulty is that State Commission is not complying with the order. They are failing to put an eye on this, even to the extent that on page 19, if I correctly remember, paragraph 29 to paragraph 34 speaks about the subsection 2 of Section 46 of 2003 Act, where it says that if any person is unable to file their nomination, then in that case, that party from which the candidate belongs will approach the State Election Commission, and the State Election Commission, according to the section, will ensure that a returning officer is deployed at the SDO's office and the nomination is done there. But the Election Commission is not following any of the part of the order.
Okay.
So this is what Mr. Manojit was saying, that the court has not dealt. So that is what I am trying to tell him. Maybe he has not gone through the order. So, and what was your second question? Yes, regarding the nominations made by BJP.
Yes.
Of course, BJP is the strongest opposition in West Bengal. We are fighting on the ground. See, I do not believe what to say or what to answer, because one day they are saying that we don't have workers, we don't have karyakartas, we don't have enough candidates to give. The other day he's saying that, maximum nominations have been done by us. So whatever they were speaking earlier was not true. Where yes, we have karyakartas, yes, we have ground workers. That is why we are filing nominations. But that nomination has to be filed in each and every district. You cannot say that there will be an election in a state, leaving apart a few districts. Then you should not consider elections to be held in those districts.
Okay. So, Priyanka, help us understand this one aspect. Sparring cannot happen alone. I'll come to you, Manojit. Sparring cannot happen alone. What was seen, let's say, in Thakurbari, Manojit is mentioning Suvendu Adhikari time and again. You've mentioned Abhishek Banerjee. Why is the clash coming out on roads? Why is the clash happening in, sacred places like Thakurbari? Where is this election being fought, really?
See, the simple answer to this is that Abhishek Banerjee, how many times has he visited Thakurbari earlier just during election? He wanted to create ruckus over there. The people threw him out. People didn't want his presence. The people, the locals of the area threw him out. Okay, the locals told him that he cannot enter those premises because it was not that he was just going for, his offerings to the God there in the temple. No. Okay. With more than 5,000 people, police personnel, everything crowded. Even if a minister visits there, there is not a kind of crowd. He is carrying buses full of people from Kolkata all the way and roaming in other districts, which the temple people did not appreciate. That is why it happened.
Manojit, your word, because you have, in my last show, also mentioned how the BJP guys were outnumbered by the number of people that were with Abhishek Banerjee that day. So it is again BJP's words against the TMCs on who created the ruckus and who blocked who.
If someone is indoctrinated with inventive lies, you cannot argue with that person. Everyone showed what happened on TV. Everyone could see that Shantanu Thakur, with the help of CISF and CRPF, shut the door of the temple. Now this person is giving an entirely different narrative, and she's an habitual offender in that sense. When Vande Bharat train was attacked, she said this was attacked by someone else, a Muslim guy or something, like she knew who she was. So I do not want to enter into this kind of debate. BJP, not just BJP, I think the Prime Minister and the Home Minister, they are scared of the rise of Abhishek Banerjee, the kind of popularity. Look how many days, in nearly 55 days, he is on the streets in this kind of scorching heat, 40, 42 degrees. They do not even go in the heat for 4 or 5 days. Forget about remaining.
But do you think, Manojit, it's only the opposition in the state that is scared of the rise of Abhishek Banerjee? Manojit, is it only the opposition? Because from what we are learning, I just mentioned about the defections in your party. It is also because the nomination filing is only being kept to Mamata Banerjee and Abhishek Banerjee. Why these leaders? Why not the senior leaders in the TMC?
I tell you, my association with the party is for the last 25 years. What is TMC for me? TMC is now Mamata, the only lobby, and that is being manned by the general called Abhishek Banerjee. That is TMC. These people will create this kind of assault. Everyone is working under Mamata with the leadership of Abhishek Banerjee. That is TMC. Mamata for Sachin is for us Sachin Tendulkar, Abhishek is Virat Kohli. That is the analogy that you have in the party. So despite there are all those halabalus and hooplas, I tell you, Panchayat.
So how do Mamata and Abhishek together plan to stop the violence? Manojit, how do they plan to stop the violence?
The violence is now negligible in Bengal. Look at that. You could only show 3 or 4 incidents in the last 3 or 4 days.
Like
we
I said,
feel-
it is TMC's word against the BJP. I'm really sorry, Monojit and Priyanka. I'm short on the time on the broadcast, but we'd have to wrap it up there. The violence continues. Let's see where does it go from here. We're talking about rural elections. This is very important in the run-up to the general elections in 2020.